Shri Matre Namaha. With the divine blessings of our Mother Goddess Sri Lalita Mahatripura Sundari, we are continuing to discuss the Holy Lalita Sahasranamas, their meaning and the contextual relevance of the Lalita Sahasranamas during our times and lives. In continuation of those namas, in the last episode we discussed Karpoora, Veeti, Kamoda, Samakarsha, Digantra. And I did mention about Mukha Panchasati in the previous episode and the birth of it. Today we will be discussing another great shloka written by our Jagat Guru Sri Adi Shankaracharya. But before we discuss that shloka, we need to understand the fifth member in Paramashiva family, who he is, how did he become a member of the Shiva family. You might be wondering who the fifth member is. It's not Nandi. So in the divine first family, Mother Goddess Parvati is the mother. The Divine Father, Lord Mahadeva, is the father. Vignanashaka Mahaganapati is the elder son. And Mahagyani Kumaraswamy is the younger one. These are the four members of the family. The fifth member of the family, who was born just like you and I, in a human form, but was inducted into Shiva's family by none other than Lord Mahadeva himself. He is none other than Chandeeswara. He is often referred to as Chitikala Chandeeswara as well, but Chandeeswara is the namam that was given to him by the Shiva Ganas in the presence of Lord Mahadeva. In this episode, we will discuss the story and origin of Chandeeswara. A long time ago, there used to be a Vedic Pandit by the name Vichara Sharma. He was an adept and an expert at Vedas, and every day he would sit by the flowing river and chant the Veda with a lot of impetus and focus on Sri Rudra Namaka Chamakam. He was a Shiva devotee by birth. So he would see a lot of animals, cows, sheep, other animals that would come to the banks of the river with their respective cowherds or the shepherds. And then when he would chant the Vedas, all the animals would relax. And by the time of sunset, Vichara Sharma would go back home, and all the animals would also go back to their respective places. This practice continued, and as time went by, when Vichara Sharma used to look at some of these animals, the animals were reluctant to go back home at the sunset, and they would always follow Vichara Sharma even after the sunset, following him to his house. Looking at this, all the shepherds and the cowherds requested him that he should always accompany them to their respective houses, for which Vichara Sharma requested them that starting next day he would do the job of the cowherds, taking all the animals to the banks for them to graze the grass. And this process started and it continued for some months. Then the owners of the cows noticed that the animals were giving lesser quantity of milk than they used to before. When the owners of the cows noticed this, one day they secretly followed Vichara Sharma and the herd of cows, and as they went to the banks of the river, these owners were ducking behind small sand dunes on the river bank and were watching what was going on. And Vichara Sharma used to chant the Veda, especially Sri Rudra Namaka Chamaka Avarnas. And when he would chant, the animals used to go into a trance and would come drop some amount of their milk automatically onto very next to Vichara Sharma. All the owners thought the milk was being consumed by Vichara Sharma, and that's the reason the animals are producing comparatively less milk. They all ganged together and went to Vichara Sharma's father and complained to him that his son was stealing milk. The next day, Vichara Sharma's father also accompanied them and observed from a distance. And from a distance it appeared as if each cow was coming to him and was dropping its milk or pouring its milk onto him. And everybody thought it was being consumed or being used by Vichara Sharma as his meal. Looking at this scene, Vichara Sharma's father ran to Vichara Sharma and saw his son in deep trance. Without considering that he was in deep trance and he was also chanting Veda, father, who was mad at him, took a stick right next to him and started punishing the young 11-year-old son, Vichara Sharma. The son did not move, did not react, did not respond, because he was in deep trance meditation of Nada Yoga, pronouncing the Namaka Chamakas, and for every Nama in the Namaka Chamaka he was pronouncing out, he was visualizing. Namaka Chamakas essentially talk, everything is Shiva. Namachoraya means even a thief is Shiva. Right? So it talks about, a pregnant lady and the one inside the tummy is also Shiva. It talks about Namo Vrukshebhyo, Namo Harikeshebhyo, Namo. So it talks a plant is Shiva, a sapling is Shiva, a seed is Shiva, everything is Shiva. When Vichara Sharma was in this trance, father who was mad at him also became enraged because Vichara Sharma was not reacting or responding to him. So he kicked the Saikata Shivalingam to which he was praying to, the sand Shivalingam that was made using the sand on the banks. The moment that Shivalingam was kicked, Vichara Sharma's meditation got disturbed and he moved with anger because he realized somebody disturbed his meditation, and more importantly somebody kicked the Shivalingam, and that's the utmost disrespect one can have. Without sparing who did it, he did not even blink his eye and took an axe that was lying right next to him and chopped off the leg of his father, knowing very well the leg that kicked the Shivalingam was his father's. And he told his father, "Forgive me for chopping off your leg, father. No matter whose leg it is, it should be punished because your leg kicked the eternal father of all the universes, Lord Mahadeva." Shiva was witnessing all of this and wanted to see how far this goes, and Shiva did not appear yet. And in few minutes, Vichara Sharma's father bled to death by losing a lot of blood. At that very moment, Shiva appeared in front of Vichara Sharma and his father, and by touching Vichara Sharma's father, Shiva brought back him into the human form and life. But he told him that you are blessed with such a great son who is full of Shiva devotion right from the birth. And saying that, Shiva looked at Vichara Sharma, who was in an ecstatic bliss looking at the form of the Paramatma. And he started chanting the same stotra that all the gods chanted for Lord Shiva when they wanted to take his guidance to get shelter from Bandhasura. And recalling that chant, Vichara Sharma chanted Jayapala Nayana Sritalola Nayana Sitasaila Nayana Sharva Jayakala Kala Jaya Mrutyu Mrutyu Jaya Deva Deva Shambho Jaya Chandra Mauli Samadindru Mauli Manisandra Heli Charana Jaya Yoga Marga Jitaraga Durga Muniyaga Bhaga Bharga Jaya Swarga Vasi Mati Varga Bhasi Pratisarga Sarga Kalpa Jaya Bandhu Jiva Suma Bandhu Jiva Samasandhya Raga Juta Jaya Chanda Chanda Taratanda Vogra Barakampa Mana Bhuvana Jaya Hara Hira Ganasara Thara Taratara Sara Dhabra Rupa Jaya Shringi Shringi Shruti Brungi Brungi Bruti Nandi Nandi Vinuti. When he chanted up to this line, Jaya Shringi Shringi Shruti Brungi Brungi Bruti Nandi Nandi Vinuti, Shiva just hugged him and gave him a very gentle kiss, as a father would do to a loving son. That very moment, Vichara Sharma melted into Shiva, and his human form disappeared, and he became a bright, blissful child with almost self-radiating aura, and appeared exactly like a Shiva in the child form. And Shiva said, "O my son, starting today you would be the fifth member of my family, and whatever prasadam is offered to me, whatever nirmalyam would be there after Shiva Puja, whatever leftover would be there after I eat, the prasadam, everything belongs to you first. And starting today you will be called Chandeeswara, because you are so devoted to me that anytime anyone tries to disturb you, you just get mad at them. Therefore, justifying the name Chandeeswara." And it's the Shivaganas who also were present there, who requested, when Shiva was saying Chandi, they said it should be Chandi plus Ishvara, Chandeeswara, because he looks exactly like a baby Shiva. Therefore, naming him as Chandeeswara. Whenever you go to a Shiva temple or Shivalayam, whatever prasadam is offered to us, we should come to the sub-temple of Chandeeswara, wherever he is. He is always in a deep trance, meditating on Lord Mahadeva. And by snapping your finger, he opens his eyes. You tell him, "This is the prasadam that was offered to the Divine Father. With your permission, I want to take it," and he'll bless it. Then we are supposed to get the prasadam home. That is the protocol. In this episode, we discussed Vichara Sharma's story, how he was born as a Vedic scholar and then, due to his devotion, became the fifth member of Shiva's family and very well known as Chandeeswara. In the next episode, we will continue to discuss Karpoora, Veeti, Kamoda, Samakarsha, Digantra, in which we will have Chandeeswara play a role, and our Jagat Guru Adi Shankaracharya explains that screenplay very well in a beautiful shloka from Saundarya Lahari. Do take care. Shri Matre Namaha. Stay blessed.